Overcoming childhood trauma responses in relationships, understanding fight, flight, freeze and fawn. Hi, I'm Dr. Tony Weston on the island of Mallorca. Today we're diving into how childhood trauma responses, fight, flight, freeze and fawn, show up in our adult relationships, particularly with our partners. Many of us don't realise how the emotional defences we develop in childhood in response to trauma continue to shape our interactions and create challenges in our closest relationships. Let's start with understanding where these responses come from. In childhood, many of us experience trauma, which can take different forms: emotional neglect, abuse, or simply growing up in a highly stressful environment. These early experiences often force our nervous system to adapt for survival. That's where the fight, flight, freeze or fawn responses come from. They're mechanisms that help us cope with the threat. Fight. This is about confronting the threat head on, often through anger or aggression. Flight. It involves escaping or avoiding, sometimes by emotionally or physically withdrawing. Freeze. This is when we shut down completely, feeling powerless to act. Fawn. This response is about appeasing others, people-pleasing to stay safe. These responses serve a purpose in childhood when we may have felt helpless. But what happens when they continue into adulthood and play out in our romantic relationships? Now, let's explore how these childhood responses affect couple relationships. These automatic reactions can cause disconnection and misunderstanding, making it difficult to build a secure and healthy bond. Let's break it down. If one partner defaults to fight, they might become easily defensive or confrontational. Every disagreement can feel like a battle, driving emotional distance. A flight response in one partner might look like avoiding difficult conversations, leading to emotional withdrawal. The partner might escape through work, hobbies, or even by shutting down emotionally, making it hard for the other person to connect. Those with a freeze response might appear emotionally unavailable, stuck, and unable to respond to their partner's needs. This can create feelings of isolation and frustration in the relationship. A fawn response can lead to over-accommodating the other person's needs while neglecting their own, making them prone to resentment or feeling trapped in the relationship. What we often don't realise is that these trauma responses can interlock in a relationship, creating an unhealthy dynamics. For example, one partner's flight response might trigger the other person's fight response, and this back and forth can become a negative cycle. These patterns stem from unresolved childhood trauma and are closely linked to attachment styles. For example, a person with an anxious attachment might use the fawn response, desperately trying to keep the peace and maintain closeness, while someone with an avoidant attachment might withdraw or take flight when things get tough. Psychologically, these responses can lead to deep mistrust, anxiety, and rejection sensitivity, where one partner fears being abandoned or emotionally hurt, even when there's no real danger. Emotionally, this can result in feelings of numbness, disconnection, or overreacting to minor conflicts, because the mind and body are wired to anticipate danger. Over time, these patterns can seriously strain the relationship, causing chronic stress, low intimacy, and communication breakdowns. The good news is you can break free from these ingrained patterns, but it requires awareness, intentional effort, and support. So here's how to start. Step 1. Self-awareness. Begin by recognising when you're triggered. This means paying attention to your emotional and physical responses in moments of stress or conflict. Journaling or mindfulness can be incredibly helpful here. Step 2. Communication with your partner. It's crucial to have open conversations about how these patterns show up in the relationship. When both partners understand the roots of their behaviours, they can work together to create healthier dynamics. Step 3. Therapy. Trauma-informed therapy can provide the space for healing these deep wounds. Attachment-based therapy or couples therapy can also help address the relational patterns that perpetuate these trauma responses. Step 4. Building resilience. you can gradually expose yourself to the emotional discomfort that usually triggers these responses. With time and practice, you can learn to stay present without defaulting to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Step 5. Mutual support. Healing as a couple means being patient with each other's triggers, learning to support each other and practicing compassion as you both grow through this process. One key point to understand is that trauma responses often interlock in relationships. For instance, when one partner's fight response is met with the other person's flight response, it can create a reinforcing loop where both partners feel more and more disconnected. Recognizing these cycles is the first step toward breaking them. Once we see the patterns, we can start working together to stop the cycle, creating space for connection, vulnerability, and healing. Remember, understanding the origins of these trauma responses is the first step to breaking free from them. With the right support, you and your partner can move toward a healthier, more secure relationship. Don't be afraid to seek help and take the steps toward healing. Thank you for watching, and if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more insights on relationships, trauma, and emotional health. Thanks for watching.